Hello, this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and today we're going to make this cute foil card using Itty Bitty Christmas and lots of cheer. So I think it's kind of fun, and let's go ahead and get started. So here's the card, and we're going to be using lots of cheer for the wreath and also the ornament inside and the sentiment here. And then we're going to be using Itty Bitty Christmas just for this little sentiment right here. And for this die cut for the sentiment, we're going to use ornate frames. We're going to use the plain long rectangle one and kind of the ornate smaller rectangle one. And then for the larger square, we're going to take the layered squares, and it's going to be the largest scalloped one and the second largest kind of plain one. So that is what we're going to be using. So we're going to start out with just a regular card base, which happens to be real red. And here's real red right here. It's the typical 5.5 by 8.5 scored and folded. That's pretty standard. And then we're going to be using basic black, and we're going to cover the whole card. So it's going to be a 5.5 by 4.25. So we can go ahead and put that on the card. Just nail it up and affix it to the entire card and try to get all the red to cover as much as you can using, snail. Now, if you notice, I have this green foil. This green foil comes from the Noble Peacock, and this is cut in 5.25 by 4, so it'll go like that. But I have used the 3D Tuft embossing folder, which is this piece right here. And what you have to do with the 3D folder is use this 3D embossing folder plate. You can't get it to work without it. So with this combination, what you're going to do is you're going to have your big base plate. You're going to take your folder and line it up. I kind of like to line it up with the line and kind of the edge of the folder right here. And I'm going to put this on my base plate, and I'm going to put this plate on top of it. That's it. So the base, the folder, and this blue plate, and run it through. It almost feels like you're not doing anything, but you're totally embossing it, because you take this and turn it into this. Voila! So magic of video. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this embossed piece and we're going to snail that up. And we're going to affix it to the middle-ish of the card. Try to get it as even as possible. And go like that. And then we've got some sentiments here. So let's do the first one. Now I like using my Stampin' pad here. These are really nice because I am just going to go ahead and take it on a block. And we can go ahead and affix this to its base right here. And this is what we cut out. Well, I cut out earlier using the ornate frame. So it's the big one and the little one like that. So I just cut those out. And the tough part is to get this little stinker to be in the middle. So just kind of eyeball it. Well, that looks actually pretty good. And then we're going to take our Christmas cheer and just put it on a block. And this is the C block. So, and then take our memento, which is just black. Because that'll be nice, because there's already black on this base here. So using black will work. And just kind of tap, tap, tap. Don't rock it. Don't push it in too far. Use these nice little pads. Even though this is one of those orange stamps, I still like using my pad. And then, without sticking my head in my video, I'm going to just try to get it in the middle as much as possible. And just kind of hold it there. Give it some even pressure. And then when I lift up, I'm going to hold it down with my fingernail here and lift straight up. And that's actually perfect. So, and then of course, put your lid on your boxes. If you've ever watched my videos before, I am always constantly saying, put your lid on your box because you'll regret it later. So we'll put that to the side for the moment and get rid of that. And then what we also have is the squares here, and this is from the layering squares. Like I said, it's going to be the largest scalloped and the second largest plain one because I want a little space here. I could have made this a little bigger, but I didn't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and you're going to, of course, do the scalloped one in red and the plain one in white. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus for this time because I do want this reef, this bell reef, to come in as dark as possible. And sometimes when you stamp something on just using a block, you don't quite get it dark enough. So I've already kind of lined it up. And the Stamparatus is great because you could just put a little piece of washi tape, which is literally, that's the only thing I use washi tape for. I really don't like washi tape, but it holds down my dies when I run them through. Because on a even using a magnetic plate for your dies, your plates get a little warped just from sending them through, and it kind of does funky poltergeist things. So anyway, I use it to mark off my Stamparatus. So I've already pre-lined this up. So I've taken the stamp and I put it on the bottom here, just like this, and I just kind of lined it up. And when you're doing a lot of cards, if you were to do this over and over and over again, this is great because once you get it lined up and you have your little doohickey marked off here, that's a technical term, then you always know you can make an assembly line of these. So this is for the actual card. So we're going to take the memento again. And like I said, we're going to be coloring this later in silver. So we really want this as dark as we can. That's why the Stamparatus is the best thing to use, because I can do this as many times as I want. So you see, it's good, but I would like it darker. So let's do it again. And what the heck? It's out. It's open. We'll do it again. And 3. Bonk. And that looks great. Now, I don't know if you could tell from the video, but I actually cut out 2 of these because this is the one that's going on the card because it's on the rectangle there. And then I want to stamp another one because I'm going to cut the one that I'm stamping now. I'm going to cut the bow off. And I'm going to fussy cut it and color it in. So I'm going to take this and line it up again. And do the memento. You don't even have to ink up the whole stamp. You can just, oh, I'm probably off camera here. You can just ink up the bow because that's all we're going to be cutting off. And line it up. Burk. Line it up. And I want that bow dark, so do it again. Burk. And I'm going to do it again. And get it just really super dark, just like that. Okay, I don't care about the bottom part. I just want that bow to be dark. So we're going to put this to the side. And then I'm going to take my, I like using for this one because there's lots of small spaces. And when we do this ornament later, I usually use my blending pens because I love the blending pens, but I have to get in some really tight spaces. So there's this set of Stampin' Right markers that come in all the colors of like the paper. So here's the real red one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in the bow. And I'm going to color in all the white, of course, but try not to get over the black because I don't want to cover up the line. So I'm going to go ahead and stop for the moment, and I'll see you in a few when this magically is all done and fussy cutted. I'm back. So here is the bow fussy cutted out and colored. So this used to look like that. I colored it. Now I'm going to take my black Stampin' Right marker after you fussy cut and very carefully do the edges. Now if you accidentally go whoop and put like a line over your bow, like, ooh, I almost did it right there. You can take the light rich razzleberry Stampin' Blend, and this will take color out. This is amazing. It's for highlights and stuff, but if you goof a little bit with any of the markers, this will take it out, or at least most of it out. So you'll be able to save your project. But go ahead and get rid of all the white from cutting it, on the bow. So just gently, ever so gently go around it and kind of fix it. So we're going to put that to the side and put the lid back on our thing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to color the bells. So I'm going to take my silvery shimmer ink pad and I'm going to take the refill inker. And I've already made a little splotch here on my lid, so just take it off, make your little splotchy, and put the lid back on. And we're going to take the aqua painter, believe it or not. And you can do it with or without water, I think. And just gently put the ink on there and try not to hit the black lines. So ink that up and go all the way around, and that will go all the way around. So I'll see you in a minute after I paint all this. Bye. I'm back. So now that I've colored in all the bells with the silver, I'm also going to go over the lines of the bell because it's very difficult not to hit the bell lines with the silver. So I'm just going over and just kind of making sure that I'm not covering up all these little details here. So I'm just going to go over it. There. So now we're done with that. We can go ahead and put the lid back on our ink so that doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to also color the bow down below. Even though it's not going to be the one thing on top, you want to make sure that this is also red too. So it's going to give it a lot more depth when we add on the other bow that we fussy cut it out. And fussy cutting, I mean, I do have a Brother scan and cut, and I could have gone over it with that, but I just fussy cut it. It wasn't too bad. All right, so we went ahead and colored the bow below. And now we're going to put some dimensionals on the fussy cutted bow. And I'm going to put 2 big ones. And then I'm also going to put on the mini dimensionals. If you haven't got any of these are fantastic. So I'm going to put the mini ones on the bottom. And then I'm going to take my red marker. Let's go ahead and take off the tape first. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to color the sides of the dimensionals because I don't want to see it. So go ahead and use the thick end of your marker and just go around each side so you don't see it. And I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and take the colored dimensionals and line them up here on top of this bow. You can even take the black marker again. If you see some white spots on your fussy cut, just make them go away with the marker here. You got to do it real careful because it's so easy to just go woof and ruin it. So there, sounds good. And then I'm going to take its base, which we cut out earlier, and tape this up. Put it on. Try to get it in the middle as much as possible. So we got our 2 pieces, and then we're going to take the front of our card, and we're going to dimensional this up as well. And grab the big ones. And I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals here. At least, 6. Let's do 7. No, let's do 9. So we're going to take off the paper. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this on here. And then we're going to get 3 dimensionals for here. And take this off. And we're going to put it right there. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take these little rhinestones. These are the red rhinestone basics. and put your fingernail under one of them and put it in one of the dots, and another dot, and another dot, another dot, another dot, another dot. So whoop. So we got the front done. Let's do the inside. And the inside, what you're going to do is you're going to take the 5 1/4 by 4 black and the 5 by 3.5 and go ahead and nail that on and put it in the middle like so. And then you're going to stamp the sentiment and the ornament from inside here, basically, which is what I've already pre-done. So I use my Stamparatus again, and I stamped those. So what I did is I have my other plate here, and I have it all lined up. I stamped it like this, boom. And then I did color the ornament, and instead of having you watch me color again, what I did is I took the Stampin' Right markers again, because these are really fine tipped, so they're a little thinner than the blending markers. And I went ahead, and I think that it looks better with the green in the background and with the red with the swirlies. And then I also took the silver again and put that refill in the lid and used the aqua painter and painted the base of the ornament. And I also took the golden glitz, and I used just a paintbrush. It didn't like the aqua painter, and I didn't have the refill, so I just kind of took a stiff brush and I twirled it around in here and I painted the bow. And then the last step was I took the Wink of Stella and I went over just the green. Don't do the red, just the green. And it gives kind of a neat effect to it without making it over splotchy. And be careful with the Wink of Stella. Sometimes when, it comes out, when you turn it over, all this liquid in here kind of pours to the end and you can get some glob. So have a little piece of scratch paper to rub that off. But we're going to go ahead and take the one I already did and nail that up and put it on. And that's it. So that is lots of cheer and Itsy Bitsy Christmas and some dies and the embossing folder, some ink and a little bit of time, and that's all. And if you like my videos, please come to subscribe to my channel. That'd be awesome. Or if you'd like to place an order, my Stampin' Up! Address is right there and you can place an order. So I hope you like it. Thank you. Bye.